Okay. Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Heshy Friedman, and happy to have everybody here join the RBBN online. And it's the end of the month, end of June, and we're happy all you guys here could make it and do the online networking event. We're going to get straight to the point and start introducing everybody. Our first guest here is Chaim Loeb, who all the way from Phoenix, Arizona. He's not there now, but that's this is his first time joining. Chaim, why don't you tell everybody about yourself and what you're looking for?
No problem. Thank you so much. So I'm a online health and fitness coach, and I guide and coach and give tools to Jewish men to and through their journey and process of creating a sustainable, healthy lifestyle, do it through fitness, nutrition, mindset shifting, and habit building around creating a sustainable, healthy lifestyle and achieving fitness goals. Here to meet just like-minded individuals wanting to grow in business, wanting to grow as a man and things like that. And I'm not really sure what else. I think Heshy mentioned good leads and just, men are looking to invest in themselves, invest in their future, the family's future, and be better at their job, at their business, and in terms of investing in their health. And I would love to speak with anybody. And
Chaim, I need help. Chaim, can you see me? I need help, Chaim.
In the DMs, we can speak in the DMs.
Chaim, do you work remotely or you work in person? How do you work with people?
Completely. I have a complete online program to guide and help Jewish men achieve their goals. Yeah.
So it's all virtual.
Yeah, all virtual. I started it November 2019.
Wow. Okay. Thank you very much, Chaim.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Next we have David Ginsburg. David, I see you're in your car, but I guess you can still talk and give us your little spiel.
I was hoping I'd be sitting still when I give my spiel. So my company is Furniture Pro. We've been around since 2006. We're based in the Spook Rock Industrial Park near Chafetz Chaim and Tamkid Shabbos. Anybody can come over and have a visit and check out our chairs, and we have ergonomic devices to help you sit more comfortably in your office when you're working. Help you to encourage you to stand up and work a little bit. Can you hear me? I don't know if it's in a bad zone or not.
Yeah, we hear you fine.
You hear you? Okay. We sell all kinds of office furniture, chairs, tables, desks, file cabinets, partitions, cubicles, lockers. And the kind of leads we're looking for is anybody who is expanding their business, changing their business, adding employees, adding a new facility. We've outfitted complete buildings. We do it all the time. We have contracts with New York State, with New York City, do a lot with police departments and fire departments, social service agencies, Rockland County, Westchester County, all kinds of private businesses around the area in Rockland and Westchester, and also New York City. We've done entire floors in Manhattan, in office buildings. And anybody who's going to need furniture, with that.
All right. Thank you, David. And good to see you again. Okay. Next, we have Eli Cohen. Eli was first on on Zoom here, so we should have let him go first. But okay, you're still from the Asar Rishonim. So go ahead, Eli.
Okay, my name is Eli Cohen, and my company name is Elcon Communications. Been doing involved in the telecom industry since '94. First in long distance, then about the last 20 years with local. Also, today my target really the main service which I offer, which I can help people with, is with VoIP mostly, because that's what benefits people the most these days. But I could do any telecom services, but the type of customers I look for is anybody who really basically anybody who's having a problem. Either they're overpaying, or they're too much hassle with their company, or there's quality issues. and the target is usually companies who have between 10 and 50 employees.
Thank you. By the way, Ellie saves people money. That's what he does. His services.
And Heshy helps me do that. He makes a tremendous website.
Thank you, Ellie. But really, like this, sometimes you have people who give services that the idea is that they really will help people cut on their costs and save money, and that's what Ellie does. Okay, thank you, Ellie. Next, we have Ken Gostein. Ken, also, you were one of the first people on, so let's give you the chance to speak first or earlier on. Thank you, Ken.
All right. Appreciate it. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Ken Gostein. I'm a licensed residential mortgage loan officer in New York and New Jersey with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. I help home buyers achieve the American dream, and happen to think I work for the best mortgage company in the country. So I'm looking to connect to you or anyone when you're ready to buy or want to refinance at a lower rate. Feel free to reach out. Thank you.
By judging Ken's picture, you can see he does the residential, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I do mixed use and some commercial also.
All right, thank you, Ken. Okay, all the way from the Holy Land, we have Annette Mashi. Annette, welcome.
Hi. So my name's Annette, and I can't decide if it's Mashi or Mashiach. Got confused when we made Aliyah, and they got the letters wrong, and so here I am, and Mashi, which is not as cool as Mashiach, but what can you do? So my company is Right Wizards. I create content, I create magic with words, and I help people to promote their businesses, small businesses to promote their businesses to other people by using the right words and the right combination to be able to promote you to your clients and make them want your products. So that's basically what I do. I'm from Philadelphia originally, moved here 24 years ago. From Philly, from Drexel. I went from computer science to architecture, and now I'm writing. So
well,
happy to be here.
Thank you for joining us. I know we're all here getting up early in the morning, and you're already finishing up your workday.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab the banana bread from burning in the oven. So
Yum, that sounds delicious.
Save you all the peace.
Okay, next we have David Jassy. David, welcome. And many of you have seen some of David's videos on LinkedIn. He does these fantastic videos. So it's great to have him as part of our program here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, and thanks for gathering us all together. We produce great video, whether it's this month we're doing Rothenberg Law Firm. We just finished Chabad. We're doing another one for promoting towns in New Jersey. So we do a lot of different type of high quality videos. Personally, I come from a network background, so it's always high-end production. But I'd say the most important thing is we're looking to help people be profitable. So like, for example, we always have to start with the end in mind. It's not about making a video. It's about making the right video. And over the years, we've also got involved in branding and brand makeovers in order, because if you have a great video, but if your website looks really schlocky, we help you make over the website too, and help you with the brand. Because at the end of the day, if it's not going to increase business, then why spend money on a video? So we definitely look at the whole picture as well. That's the story. 25, 30 years in the business and still going strong and excited to bring in all the new technologies into what we do.
By the way, just as far as like we have an RBBN chat, I know somebody asked if who does video, and obviously, David stepped in there. But that's the idea of the RBBN. We can all, give each other recommendations, and we know, we have an idea of who we are and what we do, and get referrals. I don't know if anything happened from that, but eventually some things will happen if you network properly and get the message out with the right group of people.
Still working with Isaac that we met on your show.
There you go. Very good. I'm actually meeting him in 2 weeks here in Florida.
Oh, so, you're in Florida?
I'm in Florida right now.
Vacation?
I shouldn't say that publicly. Yeah, that's why I'm not with my regular camera on my cheap old laptop camera, which is pretty bad, and I have some really bad backlighting behind me. But you got to work with what you have.
Hotter here than in Florida.
Yeah. It's true. It's I came here to cool off a little bit. It was only a high of 87 yesterday, not 97. Okay. Okay, next we have, oh, Mickey. Welcome, Mickey. Mickey Cohn. Mickey, are you there?
I'm here. You guys hear me?
Oh, there we are. Yes.
Welcome, welcome. Or I should say hello to everybody. Heshy, Yitzie, thank you everybody for bringing us together. It's amazing to meet everybody virtually for those that can't meet in person. I call myself the phone guy. This is the reason why I wear this on my head is not for Jewish purposes. It's only for advertising. No, just joking. Anyway, but in short, the reason why I call myself the phone guy, there's a lot of different things out there in the telecom communication. In simplicity, we're able to help your company with a better customer service. VoIP is one of the things we do. It's easy bread and butter, but I like to emphasize on unifying communications. There's many of us that are using a lot of different programs and softwares throughout the day. So imagine if you could just unify that to one source, to one dashboard. So that's a big emphasis what we do. Plus, I guess the grand slam hit would be that we're carrier agnostic. We're working with a lot of major carriers. So we're able to, by giving your company a free analysis, by just analyzing the way you use your bill, most of the times, 9 out of 10 times, we come back with something compelling. And if I can't, I'll just reach out and say hello to you as a friend. So that's it for me. Mickey Cohn, the phone guy.
Thank you, Mickey. It's good to see you again.
Same here.
Okay. Next.
Florida.
What's that?
I said enjoy Florida.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, next we have Nick Davidson. I don't see you, but I definitely see you're here, Nick. Are you able to are you here with us?
I think so.
There you are. Okay, there's Nick.
Good morning. Hope all's well. Nick Davidson, the Smart Solutions Group. We help companies scale and address issues in their organization, be it for profit or not for profit, things like business development, people problems, financials, process and structure, and all sorts of other stuff.
Oh, that was quick.
Yeah, we help. I'll add one sentence to it. As well as coming up with strategy, we also take responsibility for implementation and make sure whatever needs to be done is done and follow it through to the T. Okay,
thank you, Nick. Okay, now we have here's, I'm going to introduce Ariel Serber. He's this is the first time he's joined our group. Ariel, welcome to the group, and introduce yourself, please.
Can you hear me first of all?
Certainly do.
Okay, great. Hi, I'm Ariel. I live 3 blocks away from Gershon.
Can't see you, but we hear you.
We don't see you, but we hear you.
Yeah, my camera's jammed up on this machine that I'm using. So anyway, our firm helps businesses with risk management, employee benefits, exit planning and strategies, capital raising, business consulting in general. That's really about it. Go with that.
All right. Thank you very much, Ariel. Well, thank you for joining.
For sure.
Okay. We now have we have Pat Smith. Pat, also welcome to the program. We haven't. I think you're a new member. So why don't you introduce yourself, please? Pat. Okay. I guess she's not available. Okay. Is there anyone else? Yitzie, I'm saving you for last, and Gershon, obviously, you're gonna do your spiel. So I think we went through everybody here. So last but not least, for now, we'll have Yitzie Pariser. Yitzie who puts together these programs. He gets our guest speakers. This wouldn't happen without him. So Yitzie, thank you for organizing this. I would ask you also, after you do your introduction, why don't you speak on behalf of Frady Rappaport as our sponsor, and do her spiel. do her spiel for her as a sponsor, and explain what the sponsorship does, and also mention about the shared Google Doc where we have everybody's information in there as well, to make sure we have that all updated.
I can't hear him.
Yitzie, are you there? Yitzie?
Doesn't say he's muted, but
we can't hear you, Yitzie.
See, Yitzie, I just don't hear him.
Yeah.
Yitzie, maybe you could do it in sign language.
If Maybe you're muted. Not. Maybe the whole
He's not muted. Yitzie, your microphone's not working?
Generally leave and come back. It might help.
Yitzie, why don't you leave and come back? Yeah, let's why don't you try that? Well, David, that's a real background. I just saw a person walking behind you. I always said that was a fake background. All right.
You now get backgrounds with people walking behind so that you think that they're real.
You think they're real, right? Okay, Yitzie, what should we do here? You want to go back on?
Why don't you log out and log back in?
Okay, I guess while we wait for Yitzie to come back on, or get his voice back, let's Gershon, why don't you tell everybody what you do before you start the actual program? Why don't you introduce yourself, and then we'll hopefully Yitzi will be back at that point.
Sure. So again, thank you, Heshy and Yitzi, for hosting me today, inviting me to speak. What we do, well, I'm the founder of Imperial Advisory. We're a team of CFOs, and that stands for Chief Financial Officer. And we work with growing businesses that generally work with growing businesses that do not have a CFO. So it's usually businesses that have reached the point where they're not getting everything they need. They want to take things to the next level. They have good data, but they don't know what to do with their data. They need a strategic partner on the financial side of the business. And that's where we come in. And my job, I work with clients these days. Since it's my business, I end up doing a lot of business development as well. But I still work on clients, and we work with startups looking to raise money. And we've actually had a bunch of those come in recently. But I would say our bread and butter is working with more established businesses that have a business, they already know what they're doing, and they just want to take things to the next level. So that often revolves around investment. So there's some sort of major change that the business is looking to make. It could be hiring people. It could be changing their product offering. It could be addressing issues with their capital structure. There's usually some sort of change, often involving investing a decent amount of money, either the business's money or getting money from someone else to invest, or loans. But so sometimes it's helping get that investment, and then it's really figuring out how you use that to grow the business. That's usually where we're brought in. And then sometimes it's a project, sometimes we'll stay on long term. It kind of depends on what the client needs.
Okay, so we're all looking forward to hearing hearing how you can save us money. That's what everybody wants to know.
Well, I guess I should probably clarify a misconception that a lot of people have about us, which is that we don't really help people save money. That's not our general. We're more about growth. We do sometimes help people save money, but that's not what we talk about. There are other businesses which are great at that, and I think you mentioned that Ellie helps people save money on their phones. Like, there are lots of businesses that help with that, but what we usually do is we're usually focused on how do we grow the business, not how do we save. Sometimes saving, obviously, if you're wasting money, it's good to save money. We're into that, but my talk today is more about how you can kind of leverage discounting to help you grow your business.
Got it. Okay.
Get more.
Again, it's all at the end of the day, it's bringing more money in. That's
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But that's just something like I kind of bring up. A lot of people think that CFOs do that, and I'm sure that some CFOs come in and focus on that, but that's one way that I guess we're different than many others.
Right.
That's not our focus.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you for that, and I guess we're looking forward to your program. Yitzie, are you able to? Do you have a voice? Is your voice back? Are you back for us? Yitzie?
Maybe type something in the chat.
Yeah.
Like type your little spiel in the chat, because can't hear you.
I don't know if it has to do with connection. Maybe if you take your camera off, I won't have to change around. But we see you. You get your sign language.
Yeah. Okay.
The other option is you go into your microphone and you check to see that the right thing checked off.
That's true.
Yeah.
Either same as system or built-in speakers.
Yeah. All right. In the meantime, we have a few. Oh, Frady Rappaport is here. She's in the waiting room. I'm going to let her in right now, so at least she'll do her introduction. But before we do that, we have also Elliot Spiegel has joined us as well. Before we have Frady, let's Elliot Spiegel. I know you just came in. Why don't you give your introduction, say hello, and let us know what you do and what you're looking for.
Hey, I'm Elliot Spiegel. I am a sales and management coach. I work with anyone who wants to advance their business and or find more time or more money and I'm happier. And what I do is, I have clients at Metrics, at Swift, and the other, if you want referrals at all, or references, testimonials, and at Mint, to work with our community specifically, be it both in the Cholent and outside the Cholent. It makes a difference. So that's what I'm here to do. And we're changing lives every day. That's what we say. We change lives.
Thank you. And it was nice seeing you in person at our last in-person event.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed the last one. I'll be at the next one for sure.
Okay, excellent. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Mrs. Frady Rappaport, are you, can you hear us? Are you on?
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Yep.
Okay. So Yitzie was going to be doing your spotlight sponsorship for you, but I guess we had some problems with his microphone, so he's muted. So I guess you'll do it yourself directly. Why don't you tell us about your company and about what you're looking for? You have and what you're looking to achieve with this.
Okay, so my name is Frady Rappaport. I opened up a company called Upscale Equities Inc. It's a residential mortgage company. We opened up in 2004. We're here to service any consumer buyer with arranging financing related to the purchase or refinance of an existing piece of property throughout the states of New York and New Jersey, soon to be Florida. I know I keep saying it, but it is happening pretty soon. Our specialty is customized and individualized service that we can provide for every single one of our clients. Being that we're in the business for many years, we have years of expertise and relationships under our belt, and Baruch Hashem, we create highly satisfied clients and great transactions.
Okay, and just so everybody should know that Frady Rappaport sponsored our events this month, both the in-person event earlier in June and this event. She sponsored the muffins and the coffee. We can't actually have that here
virtual
too.
Muffins, but couldn't find them.
Yeah, Yitzie, we need to think of a way how to have the on the virtual event somehow get everybody coffee or something.
Yeah.
I know what Chaim Loeb is thinking.
Sponsor some water. Sponsor some water. I got some coffee over here.
So thank you for your sponsorship and thank you for being a very strong member of our group.
I'm going to add one more thing and then I'm going to stay quiet, Neder. That the reason why I keep coming back is because RBBN is really working for me. I've created beautiful relationships, successful relationships with many of the members, and I look forward to continue offering the great stuff that we do for people to whoever keeps coming on. So thank you, Heshy, thank you, Yitzie, and good luck to everybody.
Thank you. And it's because of your strong connection to the group that it's you're the first person I think of in that industry if I have anyone in mind if it does come up you're the person and that's I guess what this group is supposed to be all about, that we have people that we get to see and know and we can think of them for referrals and connections. So thank you again, thank you for your sponsorship and thank you for joining. So Yitzie shared with me, if everybody looks at the comments, the chat, there's a shared Google document which has all attendees information here. If everybody can just make sure the information is correct, and you'll also be able to connect with people who attended this event after the event. And that's always really the strength of networking is not just attending the events, but also following up and getting to know the people. And this sheet really is a helpful way to do that and stay connected with everybody. So please go ahead if you're new to the group, especially make sure your information is in there, and if and that it's correct. Yitzie, anything else that I left out? Well, just give Yitzie an introduction, since he can't talk. Uh-oh. I don't know what he's telling me because I can't read sign language, but it's an honor and pleasure to do these events with Yitzie, and he's always a fun guy to work with on this. And obviously, I'll just do my introduction as well. As far as I run a company called Radio Creations, which is a web design company. We produce professional websites. We have many members here, which we've done their websites over the years, I was in Atlanta for Shabbos, and somebody came over and they said, "Oh, I recognize you from LinkedIn." And then he says, "What do I see your stuff all the time? What do you do?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's kind of the whole point was missed. The reason I'm on LinkedIn and the reason I'm active on LinkedIn is so people should know what I do and give you the introductions." But so I do run the RBBN together with Yitzie. But just to say what I do, I think it's important for people to know that, you know, I don't just run networking events. We produce professional websites for companies, and I do a lot of networking events to help build my business. And Yitzie as well. Yitzie works with me on the sales aspect of web projects, but he also independently does programs and events, and that's why he's you know, I wouldn't have the time to do events like this without him. He's really he's the force behind this, and if you need any events done or any what networking events, business events, personal events, you know, speak to Yitzie. He'll really help you out on that, and he knows what he's doing. And again, it's hard for me. I don't know what his reaction is. I see he's smiling there. I'm sure I'm missing something here, but we can all know that this event wouldn't have happened without him, and these events don't happen without him because I just don't have the time and availability to do this like he does. So thank you, Yitzie. Thank you very much. And in the comments Yitzie put in, as far as we're always looking for additional sponsorships. We're looking for people to every month we have a sponsor, and the sponsor in the in-person events, the sponsorship includes danishes, salads. Actually, first we had it was actually muffins, and then last month Yitzie decided to be a little healthy. Now that we have the fifth year here, you know, I think it's important that we added salad to the menu, salad and coffee. But really, it's not just about sponsoring that. It's also we put it in all our you know, in the emails, in the WhatsApps. The sponsorship gets to speak in person, you know, and introduce himself. So there's definitely a benefit to that. So if anybody is able to sponsor our next event, whether it's in person or on Zoom, speak to Yitzie. He'll take care of the sponsorship for you. Okay, on that note, before Gershon does his presentation, let's all, I'm gonna put yourself on view mode, on gallery view, and take some snapshots. That way you can have memories of this and share it on LinkedIn or whatever. So do gallery view, everybody smile, and we'll all do a screenshot together. And that's okay. 3, 2, and everybody, by the way, if you know how to do screenshots, you do in Windows, if you're in Windows, you just type snipping tool in the when you press the start button, press snipping tool, and then you can just take that tool and schlep across the screen to see everybody there. So everybody just press snipping tool, and then we'll count down for the screenshot. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Everybody smile. Okay, I got that. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to put it back on the speaker view, and we're going to let Gershon take the floor. Gershon, you're live.
Can you do the share? Can you enable me to share my screen?
Sure. Let's do that right now. Hang on. Okay, you should have the ability. You should have the ability to do it.
All right. We are in business. All right. So again, thank you very much. Thank you, Yitzie, and thank you, Heshy, for inviting me to speak. This talk is really intended to be a little bit longer than 15 minutes, but I'm going to do my best to keep it to 15 minutes. So I guess we'll say I'll probably end up rushing it a little bit, but if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to talk about it offline, send you the slides, even the notes if you're interested. But all right. So here's the idea. Sometimes your clients or your customers don't like your price. And this applies to service businesses, it applies to manufacturers. Yeah, sometimes you've got pricing power, you're not selling a commodity, there's no competitors, there's no indirect competitors, you're the only one. That's great. But eventually, if you're that good, usually there's going to be someone else who kind of comes up with something similar. You know, at one point, Apple probably had no real competitors. There were no direct competitors. Anyone in their market for an iPhone, you know, palms weren't really close, if you remember those. But at this point, we've reached the point where Android has caught up. There's other systems, Samsung, there's other systems that work. And so eventually, often businesses face competition, which can be a potential lever that customers use to challenge you on price. There's other reasons. Sometimes people just don't have the money, all different scenarios. Sometimes the price doesn't work. And what do you do then? So you could say, I'm going to hold the price. I'll have fewer customers and that will work. And for some businesses that works, but sometimes that doesn't work. Often you've got overhead, you've got things that you just need to make sales. And you can sometimes make a little less money and use that discounting as a tool to ultimately make more money. And that's what we're going to talk about here, how to make more money by offering a discount. So one thing I will mention is that the KPIs, the key performance indicators, the things that you look at when you engage in a strategy that involves discounting, those KPIs are going to change. The things that you need to be looking at are not going to necessarily be the same. For example, you might have previously looked at sales and said, hey, I need to make X sales to make this business work, right? Let's say you have $100 of overhead and you make $1 on each unit you sell. You used to know that you had to sell 100 units to cover your overhead. Well, if you're charging $95.50, you now have to sell 200 units. So when you if you decide to engage in a discounting strategy, a strategy of offering discounts in order to get more sales, you just have to be cognizant of what's going on. You have to realize that that metric of number of sales no longer works or may no longer work. Maybe it does work, maybe it doesn't work. Maybe there often will be other things that you need to be paying attention to, or certainly you need to adjust that. Sales might still be the best metric to look at, but 100 is no longer the right number in our small example. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. So what do you do, right? What do? Do you stick with your prices and maybe risk losing a client or losing many clients? Depends on who you're dealing with, what market you're in. Or do you charge less and you keep the clients? Now, there's all sorts of marketing strategy besides for this, and probably marketing aspects to some of the things I'll mention. I'm not really focusing in a big way on the marketing. Some of it is about optics, but a lot of most of what I'm discussing is going to be geared toward the kind of stuff that we do, which is the financial end of it. Marketing people could probably give you a whole lecture on the marketing implications of all of these ideas. Anyway, so let's talk about some strategies. What can we do? Idea number one is offering a bulk discount. Sometimes this can provide extra sales. You're selling more stuff, right? If you sell, in particular, this works particularly well if it's something which, will expire, things that aren't needed frequently, things that will expire. Imagine if you sold 10-gallon bottles of milk and you charge less per gallon than they charge for 1-gallon bottles of milk. But some of that milk ended up going to waste. So if people buy that, you're making less per gallon, but you're potentially making the same amount of money on each person who walks into the store. Right? If you're selling something which doesn't expire, but there's a significant amount of time in between uses. You sell something which people only need once a year, but you sell 4 years worth of it. And then you offer a discount against that. So yeah, sure, you're offering a discount. You're making less per unit, but you're also getting paid up front. You're getting all that money today. And as some of you may be familiar, it's certainly intuitive. You'd rather have your money sooner. On the most basic level, if you have your money sooner, you can invest it. You can invest it in your business. You'll avoid needing loans. There's all sorts of good things to having money sooner. So if you can sell something today, 4 years of something worth of something today, even though you do offer a discount, your business could well likely come out ahead. Because again, you're getting that money sooner, which means you can invest it now, and over time you'll end up with more. Okay. Let's move on. Another idea is offer a subscription. One common example of this is magazines, right? A magazine costs you $5 if you buy it on the rack. You can often get a year subscription for $25. That might include 12 magazines. So you're paying $2 a magazine, which means that the company is selling it for, let's say, $2 a magazine, and they're making less. But while they are making less, they're getting you to buy a whole year up front, which one means they're getting paid up front. Two, it means you're buying a whole year. You may be buying 12 magazines, whereas otherwise you might have bought one, maybe you would have bought two. There would have been a higher profit margin per magazine, let's say. They would have made more money on each magazine, but here they're selling enough more magazines. They're likely going to make more on a customer than they will on a magazine. They make more on a customer by offering a subscription than they would have made on an average customer if they were just selling individual ones. Also, one of the benefits of a subscription is you kind of get ingrained into people's minds, and they're perhaps more likely to buy you again buy your thing, whatever it is, again for a second year. So even if, say, you would have sold 6 magazines for $30, right? 5 times 6, you would have sold $30 of magazines. Instead, you sell 12 for $24. There's a high likelihood they'll continue on for next year, which means that now you've sold $50, and hopefully that continues. So you are offering a discount, but there's a high likelihood of you ending up with more money this way, again, from a customer, not on a per magazine basis. Next, sometimes you want to offer a discount. You don't want to give up your margin. Offer a discount on the next purchase. You make all your money today on today's thing, and then there's a discount for people who come back. Another idea, cut scope, not price. And I should have mentioned earlier, a number of these ideas end up having some amount of overlap. There definitely is overlap between the different ideas, but there's scenarios where some will work and others won't. Cut scope, not price. You're dealing with, and this is a good one, which I'll give a shout out to someone who I think several people here know. I'm pretty sure I heard this one from Joe Applebaum, and I really liked it. You cut scope, not price. You basically say, I'm going to charge whatever I charge, but I will give you a smaller package. Kind of, if someone doesn't want to pay, you give them half of what it is. Smaller, slightly curtailed, a little bit different. This can work for consulting projects. So someone shows up and they say, you say this project is $50,000 or $5,000, whatever it is. Say, oh no, I can only pay half of that. Say, fine, you only want to pay half? Here's what I can give you for half. Next option is, and then the idea is you give them something which will cost you half. And so you'll make less on this customer, but you'll keep your margins. You'll keep earning whatever you earn, let's say, on your time or on your other investment, as the case may be. Next, have a bare bones option. And I actually I have Lexus and Toyota here. I'm not sure if that's the best example. Supposedly that company makes a lot more money on Lexus than they do on Toyota. But the idea is that you can sometimes have something which doesn't have the frills and it's another product or offering where you can steer the customer and say, oh, you don't want to pay whatever this price is, go here. And those things can, even if they're not in the case of Toyota and Lexus, those things can be structured in a way where you'll still make your money. One thing that comes to mind, and again, I don't know Weber's margins, but I know Weber is a fancy kind of grill company. And I actually have a Weber grill. Someone gave it to me. My father-in-law had an extra grill. He gave me a Weber grill, but the Weber grill he gave me doesn't have all the Weber frills. He has the one with the frills. He gave me the one with, you know, he had bought two. The second one, I don't know, he didn't get frills, and then he gave it to me. But the idea is that Weber is this fancy brand, and people will show up to pay. And, you know, you can get a temperature measurement thing on the top of your grill. You can get all sorts of cool stuff on your grill. But Weber also says, if you don't want to spend top dollar, we'll give you this basic Weber grill. And so they have that bare bones option. Anyway, where are we? Okay, next. Another idea is create a rewards program. So yeah, you're giving something up. Maybe you're giving 2% cash back, but there's a number of factors to consider. So again, by giving 2% cash back, you get less. But one, maybe you'll increase sales. Two, it gets people to come back, and people will often buy other things. So you'll get many more, hopefully, if it's successful, many more sales or additional sales at fair and reasonable price, though you are giving something up now on the rewards you're giving out now. Another thing to consider is rewards programs are often not utilized. So people get the miles or the points or whatever it is that you're giving out, and they don't always, many of those points and miles end up expiring. And they don't really cost you what you think they're going to cost you. They often will cost you less. There's also the fact that when you're giving up, let's say you're giving out 2% rewards, people then will come, even if they do end up using it, you're still holding on to their money for a long time. There's a lot of benefits. It's not necessarily as bad as giving up a full 2% margin. You know, in some ways, this is similar to what we said before about giving a discount on the next purchase. You're not giving the discount today. You're offering the reward, and maybe they'll come back. If they come back, they may buy more. And even if all that happens, you still got their money today, which means you got all the money today and you're giving the discount later. Okay. Next, create an introductory package. Sometimes you can have a small package, which, and this sometimes works with consulting. It can work with certain products as well, but you can, especially for service businesses, you can have some basic, simple package, which gives people the ability to see what you do. You can price that appropriately, and you say, if you're not comfortable with this, we can give you the introductory package. Sometimes you can roll the price of the introductory package, what was paid for that, into a larger project if it comes. Okay, there's my alarm. It means I'm almost out of time. I know that with our company, we're actually working on it. We've kind of rolled out a mini strategy package for smaller businesses, and it's just an introductory package, but it's something which we were able to price. And for people who don't necessarily want whatever the main or ideal thing is, this small introductory package can kind of give a better idea of what they need, where their holes are. We can price it appropriately, and the price is hopefully affordable. Next, offer a good rate on the main component. This is a common thing. I mean, a lot of the people here are Jewish, so you probably don't use straight edge razors, but neither do I. As you can see, I have a beard. But most people, this is like a classic example where the razor is very cheap and the blade is where you pay for the money, and you have to keep kind of buying blades. They've got this with printer cartridges. As you see the picture here, it's a very common thing. In the olden days, camera film, I think, was like this as well. Cell phone services, right? You'll sometimes get a discount on the phone, and then they make their money back by you kind of paying for the subscription. And I don't know if Yitzie and Heshy do this, but in theory, they can give you a really great price on the website, but then lock you in on a contract where you pay them for maintenance.
We actually don't do that, but
okay.
There are companies that do that, and a lot of them come to me afterwards and try to get out of that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's give and take. I mean, service providers have to get paid. That's a different way of paying, and that's the point of this whole thing. Sometimes you can restructure things in a way where they work for the customer and they work for you. That's really the point of this whole conversation. Another idea, and this works particularly well for inventory, but there are cases where this will apply even to salaried employees, because for the same type of reasoning, when certain things that you have expire, right? Imagine if you own milk, right? You're a grocery store and you've got too much milk. If you keep the milk long enough and insist on getting full price, you end up with nothing because it gets spoiled. So sometimes certain things, and for milk, it's easy to understand, but it's really true for a lot of other things. Products which don't necessarily expire per se, but eventually clothing goes out of style. Certain, we had someone here who does furniture. Furniture, the longer it sits in your warehouse, it might eventually become last year's style. It'd be harder to sell. And the idea is sometimes giving a discount today gets you your cash sooner, which you can use to go reinvest and do other better things. And even if you could hold on and maybe get paid full price in a year, there's all sorts of issues. Inventory tends to degrade, things break, go out of style. You have capital, you have money tied up in your inventory, right? Some money from somewhere is financing your inventory. All those things don't happen if you sell today. And so while it may be a discount for the client, it's not necessarily the case that you're actually losing money offering the discount. You could come out ahead because holding on to it could be even more expensive. Another way to approach all this is by offering free trials. A free trial, I guess that's technically free. I don't know if that's a discount. I don't know if you make any money, but the idea is that you give people the opportunity to try it out. This works very well with software things which don't have a major cost and investment in each incremental user. There's different types of free trials. That could be a whole separate conversation, but you can give a limited time trial, or you can give limited functionality trial. And it kind of depends on what you're using it for. I'll give one example. If you have a software that helps people plan weddings, you probably want to give limited functionality and not limited time, because if you give a limited time trial, they'll use it and then they get married and then they're married. So, but that you might give limited functionality, get them to trade up. There are other scenarios for limited time, really for an ongoing need. That's where that makes sense. And then here we've got a bonus tip, and that is creating payment terms. Sometimes you can influence customer behavior by offering different types of payment terms. And this involves some of the things that we've discussed, but really the idea is if you let somebody pay later, you set up a financing deal with a bank. And we've worked with clients, or with one client in particular that I can think of right now, where they worked with a bank and came up with a deal where they were eating a piece, where the company essentially paid for the financing and the customers didn't pay for the financing, but that potentially enabled the company to raise the price. And so they were reducing sticker shock by saying you could pay for this over a period of 12 months or 36 months as the case may be. And over that entire period, the customer potentially would pay a little more because they would raise the sticker price because that was okay, because the customer was paying, again, over a period of time, not paying it all up front. And the company ate the financing cost. And it's kind of another way to think of it. You could argue that that's not really a discount. But anyway, the main thing with all of these ideas is you have to really understand what you're doing and what this does to your margin. Some of these things give you the same amount of money per customer. Some of them will reduce the amount of money you get per customer, but keep your margins. And to really understand what you should be looking at going forward once you implement things like this. Anyway, I'm happy to answer questions. I think I kind of stuck within my 15 minutes.
Yes, that was timing was great.
All right. And last time I think it was like 25 or 30 minutes. but this time I think I got most of the ideas out, and I like it. I like it short and sweet. So anyway, if any questions, I'm happy to answer. Thank you again very much for hosting me. And
if anybody has any questions for Gershon, you can ask him now or private message him in the chat. Gershon, can you send me the sheet that you use? Are you okay with that? So we can send it out to the group.
The
PowerPoint, the presentation.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I'll send that to you right now.
So I'll send it out. I mean, you can put it in the chat also, but I'll also include it in the next email we send out as well, so everybody can get a copy of it. I think will be helpful to see that and do kind of chazara, on the on the topic.
Got it. Absolutely.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you. Wow, welcome back, Yitzie.
I'm having some bad technology issues with my computer today, so I'm on Zoom on my computer on the video, but I'm on phone, but I'm audio on my phone, which is like high-tech technology, see?
Okay.
So yeah, Gershon, thank you so much for that presentation. That was very helpful. That's very helpful for me, especially as we venture into the Sukkot season this year, which is something to think about as I made preparation for that. I want to thank everyone for coming. I didn't get a chance to say that before. So many new faces here, some recurring members, and thank you for coming. Thank you for Heshy for putting up all my craziness. As Heshy mentioned before, we are looking for sponsors and speakers for the coming months. We have 2 events, hopefully in July, 1 in August and 1 in September. And then going back to October, we'll go back to two a month, 1 Zoom and 1 in person in Rockland County.
Well, we're going to slow down in July and August in August and September, because August, a lot of people are going to be away, and September, it's the whole month it's Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot. So we figured we'll just do 1 a month.
Right. So if anyone's interested or has ideas for guest speakers or sponsors, please let us know. If we don't get a sponsor, then you guys got to buy your own breakfast when you come into the July event in the Rockland. That's okay. Fine. What else? We'll do breakout rooms now?
There's a few more people who came in after.
Questions. Yeah. Let's go some questions for Gershon. Anyone has any questions, please feel free to.
Can I jump in?
Go ahead.
Gershon, thank you so much for what you're saying here. Are you coming to this from a user experience standpoint? Like, I see you have quite a background, finance and strategy, the bond New York State Housing Finance Agency, quite a mix. So when you look at this, are you looking at this from the customer out? Like, what's the direction that you take when you're coming up with all these different thoughts?
This particular presentation was really not built around customers. It was built around the company, different ideas for the company. Some of these ideas will work for better for customers. Others will work less good in some scenarios. And like I kind of gave that caveat at the beginning, that the marketing people will probably have their own spin on all this. And many of these things are really things that I've picked up from marketers, but talking about it from the financial perspective. Like, I don't think you go through it, most of these things I didn't make up. Most of these things someone else came up with, the marketers probably. So I would say, I think each of these can work in some scenarios from a customer perspective, but it depends on what scenario, and our real angle is protecting the company. That's how we kind of approach it. Marketing people give us like I said, at clients, the marketing people will say, and it's often the CEO, by the way, it's not necessarily outside marketing people. The CEO will be like, I want to give 0% financing. That's the whole, that's what it needs to be. But what does 0% financing mean? How does that impact your margin? So I can tell you right now, we did priced this out recently with a bank, and the client had very good credit. 0% financing cost them 15% off the top, 15, which means for a $100 unit, the bank would pay them $85, and the bank would provide 0% financing for the customer. You just have to realize that. And so, like, for a product where it costs you $5 to manufacture, and you say, you know what, even if I only increase sales by 20%, 0% financing, it's totally worth it. But a product that costs you
when you're building the strategy for a company, you're basically studying all the different aspects of it, so they're a little bit more into reality. In other words, you're bringing them the financial leverage that they have to be aware that you're clarifying for them the financial picture they must be aware of before they make the decision. But are you also bringing to them, when I say the user experience, in other words, there's so many different things that you went into. Some of those things are relevant for one business, but not another, as you pointed out. But are you the person that's helping them to? In other words, are you saying, for this type of business, here's this 5 or 6 different things that would apply to it? Or are you the type of person that's saying, okay, this is what you want to do. Let me explain to you how that works. Like, what end of it are you coming to, and how are you going into it?
Of those choices, I would say we're probably more towards the here's how it works. We're not, I mean, we definitely do come up with ideas for clients, but like I said, very often these things are driven by people who frankly know more about the particular market than we do. So one example that I spoke about in here dealt with consumer electronics. You know, consumer electronics is not necessarily our specialty. And we don't know how their clients are going to react. That's not, we're not coming in with the marketing expertise that we do have people on our team who have a background in marketing as well. We're really primarily, we're CFOs. That's what our team is. We're finance people. Some of our people have a background in marketing, operations, all sorts of different things, but usually there's someone in-house or a marketing consultant or whoever it is that's working with the business that for something like this, we probably aren't the one who invented the discounting strategy. It's more about working it through. Could it be that we did? Would we ever, do we discuss it with clients? We bring it up, sure. So for smaller clients, there might not be anyone else. But as the clients...
So you have the best case scenario for bringing you in is having a marketing group come up with 3 or 4 different scenarios, and you can mash them up and determine whether or not which one can actually work for you financially in the best possible way with a strategy to it.
If your goal was to implement a discounting strategy, yeah, that sounds reasonable. I mean, we don't come in, we're not usually brought in solely to implement the discounting strategy. We're brought in as the CFO, and you know, in every company you have someone, you know, salespeople want a discount. That's common. We all, you know, we have that. The salesperson wants a discount. The CEO wants to make programs that will work better to appeal to clients better. And then we're there helping kind of weigh the pros and the cons and see what that ends up costing. Not costing just in terms of money, but like what the implications are of doing something like that. Sometimes it's a marketing consultant, sometimes the CEO, sometimes it's the salesperson. Something like you could have like the salesperson says, hey, this is what we're hearing out there. Here's what we want to do. And then the question is, does that make sense? Or it could be that we, you know, sometimes we would come up with something like this. But
yeah, I've had an accountant go ahead and drive how, like, he'll just say, well, it doesn't make sense to go ahead and spend, you know, you spend $5,000 advertising here and you spend $20,000 here. This doesn't make sense to advertise $5,000 over here because you only got 3 or 4 different things that led to business from it. But those 3 or 4 things, when you got to really study what it is that they did as a mechanism to, you know, which is beyond his capacity. So it's sort of, you know, that's probably where the role of the CFO goes into, looking at a bigger spectrum of the information in order to determine. I'm just guessing. Maybe you tell me.
Yeah, I mean, definitely that's something that we could or would discuss. But I'll tell you that we have a client actually who's a marketing agency who told me one of the most complicated things in the world is attribution. So figuring out where do the leads really come from. Right. The leads, you know, like we have a client right now, is a technology company, right? They sell technology and they're planning on investing a lot of money in marketing. But what's the plan? The plan is that when they get to a sales call, they'll be able to sell in 1 sales call instead of selling in 7. They already know who every single one of their clients are, right? It's an industry that there's a known number of clients. It's B2B. There's 15,000 clients in the country, give or take, or whatever, 15,000 things to sell. And maybe 2,000 clients, and they're selling, it's very expensive software and whatever, fine. But they said, if we are in industry publications, no one's going to reach out to us from there. But when we knock on their door, they'll be like, oh yeah, we know you. So how exactly do you measure the ROI on that? It's very difficult. Sometimes branding, I mean, on a practical level, branding is an investment, and it's difficult to measure the ROI before the fact. I don't know what branding people would tell you, but that's how I look at it. Practically, it's difficult. You can only invest what you can afford or what somebody else believes will work. So you can get if you have cash, great. If you don't have cash, and sometimes you can go and say you sell your vision to an investor. It's a reasonable thing to do, but exactly what's the ROI on every dollar of marketing? Some of that stuff is very difficult. Digital marketing is often easier because you can measure. You say, like, here's the channel and here's what happened, and I invest X dollars and I know my answer tomorrow. And there are marketing agencies that kind of look at it like that and will only engage in that type of stuff where you can measure it tomorrow. But it's very difficult to measure the impact of branding. Not at all to say it's not important, but like general marketing, I view as branding. It's building up your brand so that you're the company that people want to work with when they come across the thing. And
the problem is,
listen, it's 10:40, so we're gonna go. We have to go to the breakout rooms here. Gershon, that was why don't you share your LinkedIn profile, your LinkedIn page, as well as your email and any other contact information, so anybody here can be in touch with you after the presentation. They can reach out to you for additional questions, so that way we can go to the breakout rooms, and also they can get in touch with you. But I definitely enjoyed that presentation. There's a lot of things to learn from there. Good ideas and good tips. So thank you very much for sharing that. Yitzie, are you ready to take out the breakout rooms?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me give you the controls, and you'll go ahead and make the breakout rooms. I'm just going to stop the recording now, and then we'll do the. Hold on a second, and then Yitzie's going to make the breakout rooms. Okay.